Welcome again to the Aussiehome.com TV show. This time we're going to finish up in Swanbourne, but before then we're going to meet our insider, Mac Hall of Mac Hall & Associates, and also meet some property managers. There's a lot to do, so let's get started.
So we're sitting here with Tony Wiles for the technology segment this episode. He launched GWizAuctions.com and we're going to ask him all about it. Tony, thanks for coming along today.
Well, that's fine.
Now, where on earth did you get the idea for GWizAuctions.com?
Well, it started a long time ago, about 3 years, well, nearly 4 years now when I started thinking about it. And what I was looking for was a way to present a website that agents or anybody could use, in fact, where properties could be displayed, that there would be simple explanations on how they're sold, and more importantly, complete transparency about the property itself.
Now, I think this site actually is an auction site. It's like, if you were to say in one phrase, like an eBay for property, is that right?
I think it's a bit better than that.
Right, okay. Do you want to take us through it and show us how it works?
Yeah, sure. As you can see on the face of the site here,
yep.
It's a national or international site. Properties are displayed there. These are featured properties, are national on the national page, and there are the various photos of them and so on. You can simply go on here and just click onto them,
yep.
and they pop up on the screen. And then there's complete details of that property there, including PDF documents, which are what we call transparency documents, and these are documents and information that the seller is prepared to share with the buyer.
Okay, well, let's have a look at that.
Yeah, sure.
Let's go to a property and see how that works.
Sure. So what we do is just click on like this, and as you can see, the property comes up, and here we have a number of what we call star ratings, and star ratings are there to show sellers the amount of information that the buyer is willing to share with them.
Right.
And they can get up to 5 stars per property. So obviously buyers do look for the number of stars there because the more information is available. That includes things like titles, land contracts, auction conditions.
And the more information they provide, the more stars they get.
Of course.
Improving the transparency. Yeah. So these sites are actually real live auctions, lasting how long, and how does that process work?
Exactly, yeah. They're real live auctions.
Yep.
They run over 840 hours, which in other words translates to 5 weeks.
5 weeks, right.
And people can bid live, and when they do bid, their bid immediately comes up onto the screen, and it shows who the bidder was, and including with all of those sort of things, we have what we call a bid history, so that people can see exactly when those bids were made, down to the minute.
And how do you ensure these bids are bona fide bids, not just people mucking around?
Yeah, we thought about that a long time ago.
Yeah.
And the way around it, of course, is to ensure that they do put a deposit down. Now, each bidder puts a deposit, which is fully refundable, and they can get that money back at any time if they're not the highest bid, or when the auction is closed and they're not the highest bidder, they always get their money back. Right. So eventually everybody gets their money back.
Even the person who wins the bid?
Even the person that wins the bid.
So that stops the time wasters?
Yep, gets rid of the kids.
And what have the results been like? How many properties have you got on? Have you actually had a property go through now? You've been going a few months and actually bid online for real and get it sold?
Yeah, we've actually got one that's sold.
Right, fantastic.
One of the things about this is that bidders, everybody assumes that an auction is a cash bid.
Right.
But we've opened up the gates, if you like, and so you can bid here using finance, subject to the sale of your own property, and cash bids. And at the end of the day, it means that anybody can bid.
So, Tony, this sounds amazing. Is there anyone else doing this in Australia? Is this a world first? What's the situation?
I could almost claim it a world first.
Right.
There are a couple of other sites in Australia. but none of them have this sort of detail that's attached to it. This has really been built for international as well as national usage, and it can actually be taken anywhere you like.
And where would you think to go next after Australia?
Well, we're looking at Canada, South Africa, US and the UK.
Fantastic. Well, I wish you all the best with that. That was GeeWheezAuctions.com. Do check it out. Next, Phil's back with his segment, Things I Wish I Knew at 20, and this week he's looking at goal setting.
And if you're like me, you have a very busy life. But finding time to do the important things in your life is really about finding and setting priorities.